This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
We're paying the rent. Can you act a little civilized, you savages? Every Democrat enclave. Chaos. They set the Brooklyn Bridge on fire in Los Angeles. Looked like they were shooting one of those new Escape from L.A. movies. Everywhere the Democrats are, the most money put into our societies. Those are called ghettos, where everybody lives for nothing, whether it's the school, the rent, or the food. $2.5 trillion without education. Did you know that, Squirrel? Without public education. It's $2.5 trillion a year. From coast to coast, you could spot the Democrat areas. The common denominator: chaos, insanity, savagery, and the lack of an IQ over 60. Are you looking at these idiots? We celebrate liberty, the freedom of the country, and the only country that is built around property rights of you. And yet, completely bastardized 62 years ago in the name of a war on poverty. Well, by the looks of things, you've got less IQ, lower living scumbags, and everybody's got a Louis Vuitton purse.
And this administration today, here and now, declares unconditional war on poverty in America.
Pay attention, Squirrel. Everybody talks about gangsters. That's a fracking gangster right there, who at the time he made this speech, LBJ, who had been a teacher, and that's it, then went into politics, amassed $20 million before we were removed from the gold standard. So inflationally adjust $20 million in 1964 of a personal net worth to today's money. And you'll find out, I'm going to guesstimate, 180 million, give or take. That's how much this teacher made. And do you know how he made it? In government-orchestrated shakedowns and kickbacks and election theft. LBJ stole the election for senator, and he muscled his way into the JFK administration, where he then was neck-deep in the assassination of JFK. And look at what he did. Not just for himself and making a tremendous amount of money. Look what he did to our country. LBJ built the Democrat foundation of the welfare roach.
And I urge this Congress and all Americans to join with me in that effort.
Well, you didn't really ask. You fascist pig. You king. You Nazi. You extorted. And you forced. And that is when you tethered the life of the decent to the liability of the indecent. And that's what you saw this weekend. Now, depending on where you're listening, because the show is everywhere. But let's just say Shirakistan, shall we? For lack of a better example. But it may be the perfect. This is how low the character and the living standards are. 23 Chicagoans were shot. 7 mortadel, dead like a doornail. And they celebrate that. This is the lowest it's been on the 4th of July. You filthy, low-living savagery that used to be our once great city. It does explain, however. It does explain so much of what is also normal.
Illinois insider Mark Hespin here at the Capitol building, and as the 4th of July nears, some bad news for the state of Illinois. Another major employer has announced it is moving its headquarters out of the land of Lincoln. Do It Best Group recently announced it will relocate True Values headquarters from Chicago to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Well, they're gamblers. And they figured, you know what, we got to hedge our bets. Like what? 9 out of the top 10 companies, and the only reason Allstate's here is because what? There's a lot of skullduggery and political lobbying keeping those savages here. A lot. Otherwise, it would be 10 for 10. And those are the honest businesses that recognize, these Democrats, they are franken morons. It's not just Mendamne and the global intifada that moron is doing in New York, which, by the way, imploding individual units are now $185,000 per unit less than they were when he was sworn in. That is a staggering collapse of value, and their businesses are fleeing. And that's what you have to understand. This is why they can never let us go. We're the only ones that want to get away, like you probably did this weekend if you had to rub elbows with one of these traitors, one of these Marxists, one of these Soviets in America. Imagine if we didn't have to pay for it. If we didn't have to pay the interest. See, this is how ghetto. This is ghettonomics. You barely pay the interest on the liability of the sloths. That's why the debt has expanded since 2009 by $31 trillion now. Celebrate another milestone in ghettonomics. And as far as the war on poverty, when this racist gangster pig, LBJ, knew what he was doing by building the foundation of the new Democrat Party, this is what it was, and this is when it started. And that foundation is of the true face of greed in this country. Something for nothing greed. The welfare roach. When he did this, there were about 39 million Americans that were considered poverty. Now, by their own government numbers, it's 40.6 million Americans. And they'll play the percentage game. Ooh, percentages. And that's like Chicago. Get low living, where you have no standards. And then you celebrate the most mundane, made-up accomplishments. After all, you pretend this is a philosophy. Ooh, it's socialism. You're going to take care of this guy. He's going to rob you, and you're going to pretend it's civilization. It isn't. This is what it's like when you live low.
When you're from Indiana and the EBT says you can't get sugary drinks or candy, but you're only an hour away from Illinois.
Now, I just want to play this, squirrel, because not only are the sports teams and the businesses, the honest corporations and the decent people moving to Indiana from Illinois, I wanted to find a reverse example. And here's the kind of reverse example scumbag that finally decided, I think I like Illinois.
When you're from Indiana and the EBT says you can't get sugary drinks or candy, but you're only an hour away from Illinois, so you drive the hour and you spend $365 of EBT on pop. Thanks, Illinois. You're my favorite state.
That's a scumbag. Never bought anything in his fracking life. Exists on the nipple of society. Complete worthlessness. He loves Illinois. You know why, Squirrel? Because when you're a scumbag, you don't pay any fracking taxes. You don't pay for your cable under the new war on poverty rules. And LBJ, the racist pig that he was, the killer, the murderer, steeped in scandal gangster who stole not only elections but money, he knew exactly what he was building.
It will not be a short or easy struggle. No single weapon or strategy will suffice.
Oh, he was real smart, too, in a diabolical sense. But like every other Democrat, he couldn't fracking speak. He was a drunk pig. He fathered at least 5 kids by secretaries. He's your stereotypical Democrat scumbag.
But we shall not rest until that war is won.
Woo! How's it doing? Hey, scumbag, how's it doing? Squirrel, remind me on the way home, will you? Figure out where this bastard is buried and relieve myself the way I like to on all the Democrat scoundrels who destroy my country and who I didn't spend 1 second with on the 4th of July weekend. You know why, Squirrel? I celebrated my country. They celebrate the destruction of it. And when you look at the celebrations, and when you look at their idea of celebrating, it's some low-living people, huh?
A fight over meatballs. Investigators say it led to a shooting during a wedding reception. Police swarmed the scene Saturday night at a wedding hall near 56th and Fond du Lac in Milwaukee. 12 News' Emily Pofall is leading us off here live at MPD headquarters. And Emily, police say the shooter is on the loose.
Right, Derek. There's an arrest warrant out for 41-year-old Thomas Rederick Williams. Investigators say that he
like royalty, Squirrel. And in the picture of their wedding, he's all dolled up like a king. And his wife, she's all dolled up like a queen. And somebody didn't bring enough meatballs. And all hell broke loose.
Shot 2 people at a wedding reception after a fight over table manners.
Flashing red and blue lights, crime scene tape, and uniformed officers. Police responding to a double shooting at a wedding reception Saturday night near 56 and Fond du Lac.
You think they were Swedish meatballs? How good could the Franken meatball be in Milwaukee? Are there any Italians there? They probably put a ketchup on it. You morons.
What was supposed to be the best night of the couple's lives turned into one of the worst. Newly filed court documents say it started as a fight over food. One of the victims, a woman in her 30s, told investigators she saw a groomsman eating meatballs directly with his hands. She told him to use a plate, and he punched her.
Get some! By the way, the wedding was a success. Everybody had a great time if it wasn't for the cops. That's how Democrats live, low. Now celebrate. Only 23 of you shot each other. 7 are dead, but that's all right. They were probably going to cost us a ton of money anyway. And the ones who ended up in the hospital, not a one of them had a Blue Cross Blue Shield card. 312-642-5600.
What if everything you've been told about government, healthcare, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
If you're over 65 and struggling with knee pain, Joint Relief Institute offers a guaranteed way to treat it. It's non-surgical and often covered by Medicare and private insurance. It's